So, hello everybody.
Hello.
So, nice to meet you. You are welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for attending this webinar. Fortunately, we are different kind of people here from different countries. So, I'm afraid that English is not our native language, but I think doesn't matter because my idea of communication is to speak the language of our heart instead of an language. So it's a webinar about guilt and shame. So it's about so-called mistakes. So I'm gonna say from the beginning that if you don't understand me, it's your fault. It's not mine. So it's easier for me. Okay. Also, I feel like it's gonna be a different kind of webinar because we are not 40 or 50 like usual. We are, I don't know, we are now 9 people, including me. So it's gonna be something more close. And my idea is also because we are a few to discuss a little bit, to interact more. So I'm also asking you if you want and if you are open enough to open your camera. I I will appreciate if I can see your face. Thank you. It's nice to see the face, the faces from my point of view. Anyway, it's anyway we are talking to ourselves all the time, but it's nice to see myself in a mirror. So to see myself in others. Maybe this is the main point of this life, to see how I can see myself in others. You know, many times we are pointing at others to judge a lot of things about others. And if you are thinking a little bit more, we can see that those things that we are judging in others are about us. So the others are a very good mirror of me. Okay, doesn't matter. You know, we have a very good Romanian saying. I'm living in Romania. We have a very good Romanian saying. I will try to translate in English. It's like this: a lot of people called to something, but only a few chosen for something. So it's a very good saying, because if I will have here, I don't know, 15 people, we can say that these 15, we are very special people. So it's very good for me, because if I had 100, it's something. If I have 15, it's different. But we are very special being here now. So a lot of opportunities tonight. It's not my fault. If you are a few, we are special. So it's a very good start. Okay. So um, usually I'm talking a little bit about myself because I am so important. So I'm going to say a few a few words about me. My name is Julian Sonnenstein. My background, I have a medical background. I am a medical doctor, but not very in love with what we can call medicine. I was practicing mainly in alternative medicine field. because from my, I don't know, 20s, I was very convinced that we as humans were more than a body. I was very convinced about the holistic approach. So very quickly, I was addressing different areas of our being to heal or to try to repair or to harmonize something. And in my last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, I was discovering something that I knew, but I was discovering experiential, that the root of our misery, the root of our illness also is in our mind. So I discovering, and also I was discovering a practical way to address these mental things. When I'm calling this mental, I'm including the feelings, not only the thoughts. So I was very convinced, but now I know a way, an experiential way to address these feelings and thoughts in order to heal ourselves. So in the last 4 or 5 years, I was practicing, and I am also teaching and coaching with this method. This method is the name of this method is the translation of the name is Conscious Inner Liberation or Sedona method. It's starting from this Sedona method, but also have a personal print, let's say. So using this, I was discovering more and more freedom inside myself. My life is changing all the time, step by step, day by day, in a good way. And all the people who are practicing this are living the same things in their lives. So this meeting tonight have a point, and this point is about guilt and shame. Starting from this, we are, because these feelings, guilt and shame, are the bottom line of the human feelings. And starting from this, and this level of feelings are in all human minds. So starting from this, we're going to make steps to inner freedom. So let's start a little bit. I was preparing a PowerPoint like a good speaker. I will share it with you, and I will comment a little bit. So you also noticed already that I like proverbs or sayings. So now, because I'm so important, I'm using a Latin proverb, errare humanum est. So to make mistakes is human nature. It's very nice to speak about this. It's giving us a good feeling. So to make mistakes, it's human nature. And I'd like to ask you, you can ask yourself and answer this, or also you can open your mic and say it. What does it mean for you to make a mistake? What is a mistake? Who wants to say something about it? What is it for you, a mistake? Don't be shy. Break the ice. One word, 2 words. Who's ashamed to give an answer? Just say 1, 2 words. What does it mean to you to make mistakes? What is a mistake for you?
Sometimes it's, for me, sometimes it's a lesson, but many times also it's kind of like inner critic to like beginning of feeling shame maybe, and sometimes guilt.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Who wants to say 1, 2 words? Please.
It's something to avoid. I try to avoid.
Okay, something trying to avoid. Okay, thank you very much. Agit, thank you very much. Okay, another one. Just be brave. Be brave about mistakes. What means for you making a mistake? What is a mistake in your life? In generally speaking, what represents a mistake?
Being emotional and showing it.
Okay. Okay.
A bad choice.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good. Thank you, Patrick. Very good. Thank you. Okay. We are moving forward. Okay. Now we have something practical to make. Please grab your phone or a piece of paper and a pen, and just take a few minutes to write down a list of significant mistakes from your life. Okay? So not my mistakes, your mistakes, okay? Starting from childhood. But significant ones, not more than, I don't know, 7. Okay, 10. And also who have a face here, please show me your face. Very good, very good. Thank you. Thank you. Don't make another mistake not showing your face. It's a good opportunity to express your courage. Okay, do you need another sheet of paper for the mistake list? Very good. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. We'll do something about this a little bit later. Okay, I'm giving you some examples in order to maybe to write down more mistakes. Maybe you missed something. So types of mistakes: neglecting my education, unhealthy habits, neglecting my health, choosing a wrong life partner, choosing a wrong career, neglecting my family, cheating. So different types of mistakes. You can add something about this. So now, I don't know if I told you that this so-called webinar is not going to be like I'm going to talk and you are going only to listen. I'm trying to provoke something, a dialogue, to provoke something between us and inside you also. Because my main intention is to make this webinar experiential. So to have this kind of experience here, we need to have some feelings inside, okay? If you don't allow to feel anything, it's not going to be an experience. It's going to be, I don't know, it's like watching the TV. This is not an experience. An experience is when you feel something about, okay? So we are going to work somehow a little bit with our feelings in order to have an experience. So the first self-assessment is taking into consideration all of your life so-called mistakes, and you have a list of this. People who entered, I don't know, these minutes, please do this. Make a short list of significant mistakes from your life, only for you, okay? On your phone or on a piece of paper, okay? So the significant mistakes from your lives, okay? So taking into consideration all the significant mistakes that you made in your life, how do you feel inside you related to your whole life? That means all your life from the past, or your life from the present, and all your life like you are imagining that it could be. So how do you feel inside you about all these life mistakes? That means allow yourself to give you a percentage. If it's 1%, means I didn't make mistakes and I don't feel like I made mistakes in my life. If it's 90 or higher, means I made a lot of mistakes and I feel myself somehow about these mistakes. You don't have to share with us your percentage. It's something personal, something subjective that you can think and feel about you. So again, looking at your life, past, present, and future, looking at the list of your so-called mistakes, significant mistakes, how do you feel about this, about your mistakes? How do you feel in percentages? Do you feel less pressed about this, or do you feel more pressed about this? Okay, do you have a percentage? I'm not asking you the number, but if you have a percentage, please.
Yes, I have.
Okay, very good, very good. Thank you very much for your cooperation. It's like the United States Police. Thank you for your cooperation. Okay. Very good. Okay, we are moving forward. Thank you very much for being here. That means here, now. Thank you. Okay, you'll see that we'll do something with this. Okay, what is life? Of course, we have a lot of philosophical explanations about what is life. From my point of view, the life is a learning journey, and the practical point of view means that the life is a series of challenging events. What means serial of challenging events? Basically, our life is a series of events, okay? Every day from morning to evening, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, from our birth to our death, okay? This is the practical way of seeing life, a series of events. But you can notice that we are not remembering all the moments of our lives. We are remembering some events, some moments of our lives. Why? The significant ones. Why? Because only some events from our life are imprinted with a high level of emotions, of feelings. So we are remembering easily and naming significant the events of our lives that are filled with a high level of feelings, even if they are good feelings or bad feelings. But the idea is to have a significant level of feelings, okay? So we can say that the life is a series of events. We are mostly remembering our unpleasant events from our lives. If you are looking honestly inside you, you notice that you can name maybe a few events, nice and pleasant events from your life. I don't know, when I was starting the high school, when I was married, well, I don't know. So a few, when my first child was born or something like this. But you can notice also that you can remember a lot of unpleasant things, more and more than the pleasant and nice things, because unpleasant feelings are very challenging. So we can say that life, you can see life as a series of challenging events. Okay, you have your life in your head, and also you have the list of your significant mistakes. And if you are putting over the list of mistakes on your life, so you can see that somehow you can say that the life is a series of mistakes somehow. But there is a story. I was meet a guy who was an NLP teacher in Switzerland, and I was meeting him 15 years ago, something like this. And he was asking us to make a short story about our lives, a short story with our mistakes, let's say. And everybody was writing down. When I was a child, I made this mistake, and I was, I don't know, a student. I made this mistake, and this, and this, and this. And at the end, he said, okay, now look at your writing and replace the word mistake with another word, two words, learning step, and read it again. So it was a very different meaning. The same story had a different meaning, because every mistake was now a learning step. So we can see that what we are calling mistake is also a way of learning to do things better. Okay, this is the first step to look at what we are calling mistake in our life. We can say that this is the first step of an important shift related to the meaning of mistake in human mind. So what is important, the next step? I was saying that the life, it's a series of challenging situations. And I was saying that we have situations from our lives, nice ones and unpleasant ones. And we are remembering mostly the unpleasant ones. And I was saying that we are not remembering all the moments of our lives, but we are remembering the situations from our lives filled with a high level of feelings. That means that in every situation, it's a significant level of feelings. And now allow me to show you something that you maybe know already. Me, myself, in my life, okay? Me, and my life. Me and my life in the world. Okay? In my life, and I'm pointing out from me, in my life, in the world, situations are happening. Okay? When a situation is happening in my life, in my world, I have an inner emotional reaction. Okay? The first one is I like it or I don't like it. It's very hot, I don't like it. Okay. It's snowing, I don't like it. Okay. It's very nice outside, I like it. Okay. The first emotional reaction is approval or disapproval. Okay. The other emotional reactions are like sadness, um, the sense of when you are losing something or someone. Also, we can feel fear, we can feel the desire, disappointment, we can feel the anger, or we can feel proud about something. Okay, so the second step is to look at this life situation in this way. I have a situation in my life, and I have an inner emotional reaction. Okay, so I'm pointing outside me situation, and inside me emotional reaction. Outside me situation, inside me emotional reaction. Okay, for every situation in our lives we have an emotional response, an emotional reaction. We have some feelings inside us. Okay, this is the second step of understanding. Okay, let's go further with some other explanations. Understanding mistakes. What is a mistake? I consider myself wrong. Wrong means I made a mistake about doing something, because this doing something have a different result from the expectations, mine or others. Okay. So I consider myself wrong again. I made a mistake when what the result of my actions are different from the expectations, mine expectations or others. Okay, and the inner feelings are like this. I have expectations about what I am doing. Things are not going like I was expecting. I am feeling disappointment, and after this I'm turning against myself and feeling this self-disapproval. So when I'm doing something that is not according to my expectations, I turn against myself. I start to criticize myself, to judge myself, and to condemn myself somehow. So in English is I beat myself up. Okay, now who has a voice and also maybe a face? Please tell me about this. One situation. I had some expectations. It wasn't like this. I felt disappointment and I started to beat myself up. Who wants to say 1, 2 words?
It's my case. Unfortunately, I choose the wrong girl a lot of times. I mean, 2 times at least. I think I wasn't made a good choice when I married with my former wife, and I have to choose another girl. And then after, and in other case, I was with a girl, and my former girlfriend came up and intervened and complicating the stuff, and because I still love her, I choose her and I dump the girl who was possible a good choice for being wife.
Okay,
But
you can see this link of feelings, disappointment, self-disapproval?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Who else can testify about this? Just this. I have a situation in my life.
Sorry.
Oh, it's enough, Peter. Another one. Who can testify about this? I remember a situation in my life, and I am feeling it was expectation, disappointment, self-disapproval. Please allow yourself to be brave and to speak.
Well, in my life, it was not only about myself. For example, I had expectation about our national team in football in Euro Cup.
Okay.
So it was the same, but less, slightly different. I had expectations about others' performance. I had the disappointment, like I felt like it was my feeling, but there was no self disapproval. The disapproval was outside.
A very good point. Okay, a very good point. But it was about your national team. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the national team is part of your country and of your people.
Yeah.
And you are a part of this.
Yes.
So you have a little bit of
Of
responsibility about this.
Of course. That's why it mattered me.
So you can feel a little bit of self-disapproval. Maybe you didn't vote correctly. Take care. Just joking. Thank you very much, Michal, for your opening. Okay. We're moving forward. Okay. So it's important somehow to, if you want to understand about mistakes, to see this emotional reaction, expectation, disappointment, self-disapproval. Look into yourself. Okay, you don't want to talk, doesn't matter. But look into yourself, look at this, at your significant so-called mistakes from your life, and just notice if there is inside you disappointment and self-disapproval. This self-disapproval, this beating myself up, it's like I'm not good enough, I'm not able to do it. Okay. So moving forward from understanding mistakes, it's about feeling mistakes. How do we feel this thing, making mistakes? This feeling, it's a feeling, and the name of this feeling is guilt and shame. Okay, so I'm asking you again to assess yourself. You don't have to share with others, but look into yourself, look inside you, look again at your mistake lists from your life, and allow yourself to appreciate what is the level of guilt and shame inside you. How guilt and shameful do you feel about your life? From the percentage, from 0 to 100. You can feel less guilt and shame, 10, 20%, or maybe a lot of guilt and shame, 80, 90, I don't know. You don't have to share this, but just allow yourself to write down this. What is your inner level of guilt and shame about your life, all your whole life? Thank you very much for opening your camera. I really appreciate. Okay, everybody has a number. We are going to give some prizes at the end for the highest level of guilt and shame. Okay. At least if you don't want to open your camera, at least, I don't know, react something. You can react like this if you don't like my jokes, or like this if you like my jokes. Just to know if you are alive there behind your camera. Okay. Now the last poll. This is a very strong question. What is your level of freedom? Your inner level of freedom? How free do you feel in your life, taking into consideration how your life was before, how your life is in the present moment, and how do you imagine your life in the future? How free do you feel in your life? What is the level of your inner freedom? It's also a percentage. If you feel 10%, so you have a low level of freedom. If you feel yourself 90% free, then that means you have a high level of freedom. Who's ready to share with us the level of freedom? Let's see.
In present times, I have a level of freedom about 80%.
Today, what's your inner level?
Today, 80%. But this is
Very
not
good.
what I want. I want other things.
Very good, very good, very good. Thank you, Petri. Very good. Petri is practicing this method from, I don't know, 6 months or something like this. And he made significant steps forward in his life. And I am very proud of him. Okay, so who wants to share his level of freedom? Just don't be shy, tell me something.
About 30%.
Sorry?
About 30%.
30%. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very
Yeah, I
much.
also have 30%. That's what I wrote.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, answering to these questions sounds maybe stupid, but answering to these questions with honesty, it's the first step to move forward in our lives. Again, answering honestly at this kind of questions is the first step to move forward in our lives. Because our habit is to cover this. These are uncomfortable questions. We don't like it to think about mistakes, to think about guilt and shame, think about freedom. We don't like it. So because we don't like it, we're covering this. I don't want to see this. I'm looking at TV, I don't know, I'm making sport, I don't know. So looking honestly at these things means a significant step for moving forward in our lives. Okay, thank you very much for your answers. There is no right and wrong answer, because the inner perception, the inner representation of freedom is something subjective. It's something from this moment. This is changeable. We can have this perception now, 30-40%, and I don't know, after 3 hours something is happening and I have a feeling of 80% inner freedom. So it's something volatile. It's something that is changing. But it's the most important thing is to be aware about this inner feeling of freedom, because a high level of inner feeling of freedom means a higher capacity of enjoying life. These two are highly related, okay? The level of inner freedom with the capability of enjoying life. Yes? Okay. Perceiving a lower level of freedom doesn't mean that we are wrong. The meaning is there is something to release from inside me. It's like pointing that is something to do about. It's not about being wrong because I have 30% um, my my personal representation of my freedom. The important thing is to see this, and this is a good opportunity to put your attention about this. I am feeling not very free, so I have to do something about. I'm becoming aware that I don't feel free enough, so there is something to do about this. Okay, let's move forward. I told you that I like proverbs, so I was choosing a Chinese proverb about the situation in our lives. So this proverb is saying like this: he who blames others from the unpleasant situations in his life is still far away from his destination. But the one who blames himself for all this is halfway there. He who does neither has reached his destination. So it's about blaming, okay? I have a situation in my life. The first reaction is, it's your fault, it's your fault. Like I was joking at the beginning, it's your fault, you did it, okay? This is the first reaction. The second reaction is, oh, I blaming myself. And the third so-called reaction, no reaction, is you are not guilty, I'm not guilty, it's just happening. This is the meaning of this proverb. Okay. So we have this. What means and how do you feel guilt and shame? So guilt and shame is the feeling of self-depreciation, self-disapproval. It's an emotional reaction, and we can differentiate guilt. It's about disappointment about our own expectations, and shame is disappointment about expectations of other. Okay, so guilt and shame are very related. Okay, so I'd like to point a little bit about the difference between feeling guilty and taking responsibility. So a situation is happening in my life. I don't like the outcome of this situation. I don't like the outcome of my actions. And now I'm facing an unpleasant situation in my life. Like I said, the first reaction is to blame others. But let's say that we are wise enough not to do things like this. So I'm turning against myself. I'm feeling myself guilty. What's the difference between feeling guilty and taking responsibility about it? Looks like the same. I am guilty, I am responsible. Looks like the same, but it's a huge difference. And I like to share it with you, this huge difference. When I am feeling guilty about something, I'm feeling no power. I am guilty, I feel guilty, and I can not do nothing about it. It's the inner feeling. When I'm taking responsibility, that means I understand, I am aware that this situation from my life is the result of my feelings, thoughts, and actions. And if this, my previous feelings, thoughts, and actions took in this situation, that means taking responsibility allow me to change my inner feelings, thoughts, and actions in order to do something different. So taking responsibility means I am aware that I did something taking me in this situation, and now I can decide to do different, to have different kind of situations. So taking responsibility means power, means I can. Feeling guilty means I cannot do something. It's like I have a block, a stone, a stone of stones on my head, okay? So the difference between feeling guilty and taking responsibility is in one situation, I don't have power. In the situation of taking responsibility, I have all the power. I can do something, okay? Just remember this. Taking responsibility is very important. So, what to do about guilt and shame? Everybody has a different level of guilt and shame related to so-called mistakes from his life. So what to do? Okay. First step is to understand a little bit about. The second step is to feel, to be aware about these feelings, and these feelings are inside me. And the third step is to make a decision. The first decision is taking responsibility, and the second decision is to do something about. Okay. Okay. So I was telling you at the beginning that in my last 4 or 5 years, I was practicing and teaching and coaching about this great method, the Sedona method, or conscious inner liberation. Who brought this so-called method in this world? It was a guy, Lester Levinson. He was living in United States. He was living from 1909 to 1994. And he was discovering in his life, it was a practical discovery, starting from his life, from the challenges of his life, he was discovering somehow spontaneously this method. So he called this method the Sedona method. Okay. I'm taking a few minutes to share with you. We have a book also in English. This book is the autography of a master. So it's about the life of Lester Levinson. And it's not only about life, it's also about how he was discovering this way of freeing himself through this life, through these challenging situations from his life. Shortly at the age of 42, he was almost dying because some illness. And he was asking himself, how I am now in this situation at 42, age 42, almost dying. And this inner dialogue took him to discover this so-called method. So it's a very interesting book. We have also another very interesting book is The Ultimate Truth About Love and Happiness, also by Lester Levinson. You have the chance to receive these books for free. If you want to receive these books for free, you have only to enter my website, www.enalogos.com. I will write you the link, and just order these 2 books for free. You have only to pay a little bit for shipping. I will talk a little bit more about books, but now it was the time somehow. So let's do something about guilt and shame. Some experiential exercise, if you want. So I need your cooperation now. Okay, what we have to do now to to make together some exercise. That means I'm going to say something, and I'm asking you, if you want and if you can, to repeat this in your mind. Also, I'm asking you to participate, to be here with us, because if you are participating, you'll notice some change inside you. Okay? So just allow yourself to have a nice and comfortable position. Could you allow yourself to have a comfortable position? Could you allow yourself to breathe slowly? Could you allow yourself to cool down a little bit, to relax as much as you can? Could you allow yourself to be here and now, in this moment, in your life, in your place? And all you have to do is to say yes, if you agree, of course. Would you allow yourself to relax a little bit more? So please say yes inside you. And remember to breathe. Would you allow yourself to relax a little bit more? Yes. And could you allow yourself to be just in this moment? Yes. Could you allow yourself to bring your attention inside you a little bit? Yes, if you agree. The best you can. So could you allow yourself to bring your attention inside you a little bit? Yes, the best you can. Then could you allow yourself to have access at all your memories related to from your life, related to your life? Yes. Doesn't mean that maybe you don't know how to do it. Just say yes if you agree with this process. Would you allow yourself to be in contact with the images from your life, the significant ones from your life for this process? Just allow yourself to say yes. And could you allow yourself to review a little bit the list of so-called mistakes from your life? Would you allow yourself just to review from the first one to the last one, the list of your significant mistakes? And could you allow yourself, after this quick review, just to allow yourself to feel about these all mistakes from your life? Could you allow yourself to put your attention on what are you feeling about all these mistakes from your life? Yes. And could you allow yourself to feel this feeling inside you? Could you allow yourself to feel this guilt or shame inside you related to all these situations from your life? Just allow yourself to say yes. Could you allow yourself to feel this guilt or shame, or guilt and shame? And just say it. I am allowing myself to feel the guilt and shame. Yes. You need a little bit of courage for this, but this will be rewarded. Just allow yourself to repeat. I am allowing myself to feel guilt and shame about what happened in my life. Yes. And remember to breathe. And just allow yourself to say it again. I am allowing myself to feel guilt and shame about my life. So, would you notice now that inside you there are some feelings that you can call guilt or shame? If you feel this inside you, please just allow yourself to measure this on a scale from 0 to 10. What's the level of intensity of this guilt or shame? Just allow yourself to give an answer. Maybe it's a low one, 2 or 3, maybe it's a high one, 7, 8, 9 of guilt. Doesn't matter. Just allow yourself to be aware about this level of intensity of your feeling. And could you allow yourself now to start a dialogue with your inner feeling and just allow yourself to say yes. And just repeat about me, on me. I am bigger. Just allow yourself not to judge too much the words. Just allow yourself to say, I am bigger. I am a whole and complete being. I have a body. I have an inner emotional space. I have an inner thoughts space, a mind. All these are mine. I have all this, and all these are inside me. So I am bigger than all this. Just allow yourself to repeat this. I am bigger than my body. I am bigger than my emotional space. I am bigger than my mind. I am bigger than my person also. Just allow yourself to repeat this. Try not to judge too much. Allow yourself to just repeat this. In my inner space, I am crossed by body feelings, emotions, and thoughts. All these body feelings, emotions, and thoughts are coming and going. I am bigger than all this because all these are inside me from time to time. So I am bigger. Just allow yourself to notice and to be aware that you are bigger than everything is happening inside you. And now is the time to speak, to have an inner dialogue with this feeling, the guilt and shame. So please look at this feeling inside you, guilt and shame, and allow yourself to start a little dialogue like this. I am bigger, say it. You, guilt or shame, you are a feeling inside me. Yes, guilt or shame. I can feel you and I can see you inside me right now. Yes. Just allow yourself to say this inside you. Yes, guilt or shame. I can feel you and I can see you inside me right now. Just allow yourself to be aware that this feeling is inside you and talk to this feeling. Yes, guilt and shame. I am aware about you. You are here inside me. I can feel you and I can see you inside me right now. And now allow yourself to be brave a little bit more. Look at this feeling, this guilt or shame, And putting aside your judgment, just tell to this feeling, I love you. I know that maybe it's not so easy, but just allow yourself to do it in order to see what's happening. Just allow yourself to talk to this guilt and say to this feeling, I love you, guilt. I love you, shame. I love you. It's like saying hello. Hello, I'm noticing that you are here. I love you. Just allow yourself to say, I love you. And again, I love you, guilt. I love you, shame. I just love you. And allow yourself to say to this feeling, I love you, and I let you go. With a little bit of kindness, say it again. I love you, guilt. I love you, shame. And I let you go. And remember the breath. I love you, guilt. I love you, shame. And I let you go. And allow yourself to say, I love you if you go. And I love you if you stay also. I love you anyway. I love you. And I let you go. And remember the breath slowly. And now please look again at your inner feeling and please allow yourself to measure it again. What's now the level of your guilt and shame? Is the same? It's higher? It's less? How do you feel this? If you can still feel inside you this guilt and shame. So let's repeat this quickly. Say it again. I am bigger. You, guilt or shame, you are a feeling inside me. I can see you and I can feel you right now inside me. Then just allow you to say it. I love you, guilt. I love you, shame. I love you. And I'll let you go. I love you and I let you go. I love you if you stay and I love you if you go. I love you anyway. I love you and I let you go. And now allow yourself to make the second step. Please allow yourself to think again, to see again all your so-called mistakes from your life. Now the feeling of guilt and shame decreased. But look inside you if you can see the feeling of self-disapproval, so-called self-disapproval. I am not good enough, I was wrong, I cannot do it, I'm not able to do it. All this, the name all of this is self-disapproval. Could you allow yourself to be in contact with the feeling of self-disapproval related to all so-called mistakes from your life? Just allow yourself to say yes. And could you allow yourself to feel this self-disapproval feeling? Yes. And now we're going to do things in a different way. I am addressing you a question and all you have to do is to say yes. Doesn't mean if you are understanding what's happening or not. Could you let go this inner feeling of self-disapproval and just allow yourself to say yes? Would you let go this inner feeling of self-disapproval and just allow you to say yes? When? And just allow yourself to say now and breath. And could you let go self-disapproval? Yes. Would you? Yes. When? Now. And again, could you let go disapproving about yourself? Yes. Would you? Yes. When? Now. And just allow yourself to notice how do you feel right now. And could you give yourself a little bit of approval right now? No reason. Just allow yourself to say yes. And could you give yourself a little bit more approval right now? No reason. Just allow yourself to say yes. And could you give yourself a little bit more approval? Just because? Say yes. And could you give yourself a little bit love? No reason. Just allow yourself to say yes. To say yes. And right now, only in this moment, could you give yourself a little bit more love? Just because? Yes. And could you give yourself a little bit more love? No reason. Only because, I don't know, today is Wednesday. Say yes. And could you give yourself more love in this moment? No reason? Yes. And could you allow yourself to feel now? What do you feel now inside you? What's your main feeling? Do you feel a little bit of love inside you? Could you allow this inner feeling to get even bigger? Say yes. And could you allow this feeling to get even bigger than this? And just say yes. And could you allow yourself to feel even better than this? And just allow yourself to say yes. And could you allow yourself to feel even better than this? Yes. And just notice, be aware. What are you experiencing right now? How do you feel inside you? How are you? And just allow yourself to be aware. What is now, in this moment, your inner perception about your freedom? What's your level of freedom from 0 to 100% right now? There is a difference? So just enjoy it. And just allow to come back. And thank you for participating in this exercise. Okay. Who wants to share a little bit about his experience? Just don't be shy.
I
Be
cried.
free to share.
Yeah,
Dana,
that honestly made me cry.
very good. Very good.
Is it good?
It's a different kind of crying. How do you feel now?
I do feel better, oddly.
I'd like to say you something. I have a private coaching session with people, and there is a patient of mine. She's a woman. She's 40, and I was working with her for the first time, and a lot of emotional release was coming out, and she was crying, and at the end she was feeling very released. At the end she said, "You are the first man in my life that make me crying made me crying, and for a good reason, and now I'm feeling great." So it's happening like this also. Okay. Who has a different level of inner freedom now?
I'm feeling much better. I didn't cry.
Okay.
I tried to be release with myself. I try to make peace with myself.
So it's working in English also for you.
Huh.
The language of our hearts. Very good. Okay. Who wants to testify a little bit about this exercise? You can throw on me like with X or something. It doesn't matter. It's your fault anyway. So tell me something. You like it, you didn't like it.
It was hard for me because I'm like scared to love myself, I guess, because like I guess I was always brought up to not be full of yourself, and that's like don't be a show off. Always be humble and down to earth. So like even trying to like not be a self-critic for 1 second is like terrifying.
Okay. So do you have a nice feeling now?
Yeah, it was better. I
Okay.
didn't expect that.
Okay, that's great. That's great. When we are working with this method, the unexpected is coming. Our mind is based on expecting something. When the unexpected is coming, something is changing in our lives. Something new is flowing in our lives. Okay. Some other feedbacks? Michal, you was brave at the beginning. You
I
are still
can,
brave?
no problem. I can be brave at the end also.
So please, a few words.
You ask about the level of inner freedom. So I could say it's double now, but I don't want to share percentage. Maybe it was a little too low at the beginning, so it was easy to make it
Doesn't
double.
matter. There is a difference inside you?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. I feel like more relaxed about it, not so serious about
Very good.
all these emotions and
Very
situations.
good. Very good. It's the first step, but it's great. Thank you very much for sharing.
Welcome.
Very good. Very good. Thank you very much. Very good. Okay. Okay. Anyway, if at the end you like this webinar, maybe you can write me a little bit of feedback on email. I will appreciate this. Thank you for your cooperation. Okay. A little bit more. A little bit. Okay, some things about my activity I want to share with you. You can find things about my work on this website, analogous.com. I'd like to share with you that my intention is to have next week on Friday, 1-day workshop, a practical workshop how to work with this method in order to discover and dissolve our core limitation and feel ourselves alive again. So, like I said, the inner freedom level is related to the capacity of enjoying life. And something is currently stopping us to enjoy life more and to feel more free. So, in this 1-day workshop, I will show you how to discover the core limitation from your mind and how to release this and to improve your level of freedom and to enjoy your life more. So this is the link. If you are interested to invest your time, 1 day, it's Friday, in this course, you are welcome. You can register using this link. You can have, like I said, these free books, the 2 free books. You have only to click on this analogous.com free books, and you can order these free books. And there are some other books available. And I can show you some interesting books. We have I don't have it here. I don't know where. Okay. We have the basic book of this method, the Sedona method book. Okay, this is the first one, wrote by Hal Doskin, who's the main follower of Lester Levinson. It's a very nice technical book. We have also another nice book is Love Yourself and Let the Other Person Have It Your Way, written by Larry Crane, another follower of Lester Levinson. We have also a very nice book. The name is The Way to Complete Freedom. A great book, a great book. You can find inside this book a lot of answers for you, for your life. Just asking yourself, putting yourself an intention and opening the book. A lot of people found something nice making like this. We have also another great book, Happiness is Free, written by also by Haldoskin. Okay, you can see on website these books. Okay, a few words about mental programs. If you allow yourself to look inside you, you'll see that in different moments of your life, you think about yourself. That is difficult. You cannot do it. You do not deserve something. You are feeling like you are not able to do something. I'm not good enough. I'm not capable because I have failed so many times. Just allow yourself to see inside you how many times you had these thoughts inside you, and allow yourself to look at yourself in this moment, in this moment of your life, and just allow yourself to be aware about what part of your life do you think that is difficult, you cannot do it, you don't deserve something, you are not good enough, and something like this. So these are mental programs. What makes me, there is also a mental program about failing. Okay, let's count a little bit how many times we did it wrong, in a wrong way, so-called wrong way. Okay, so we know, because we are all smart, that making mistakes means learning steps, but not everybody is learning from these so-called mistakes. We are making a so-called mistake and another so-called mistake and another so-called mistake, and we are blaming ourselves a lot, and we have in our memory all the rememberings of our failings. And when we are trying to do something now, all these memories are coming out. You failed so many times, you are not able to do it. You failed so many times. Just allow yourself to be aware about it. All these are mental programs. And when I'm trying to do something now, all my past is blocking me. So the logical step is to discover, to be in contact with my limitations from my mental program. When I am aware about this, like we are aware now about guilt and shame, we are able to do something about. We are taking responsibility about our mental programs, which are our mental programs, are belonging to our mind. That is my mind. So I am bigger than my mind. I am bigger than my mental programs. Becoming aware about these mental programs means that I can take responsibility about this process and I can do something about. So I can choose. I am keeping these mental programs of failing, of making mistakes, of being wrong, or I decide to release this mental program, to rewrite my software. So this is possible. I discovered from my own experience that is possible to rewrite my software. It's possible through this method. So that's why I am inviting you to come at this one-day workshop, because we will experience in a practical way, we'll discover the core limitation of my software, and we'll see this core limitation and we'll work somehow on this core limitation, and the result will be more inner freedom, more capability, a change in our lives. There are a few people here who were already on this kind of workshop. I have a workshop of 2 days, but also we can do this in, let's say, in a concentrated way in 1 day. And we have here people, their life their life is highly improved after this kind of workshop. I don't know if Ronit wants to share a little bit, maybe in Hebrew. The others who don't understand will not be angry about. Ronit, if you want to share a few words in Hebrew about your experience, you are welcome.
אוקיי, אז אני באמת השתתפתי שנה שעברה בכמה סדנאות של יוליאן, והיו ממוקדות על הנושא הזה של השחרור אמונות יסוד או תוכנית החיים, והיה בשבילי באמת מאוד שינוי די שראיתי אותו די מהר בתוך המציאות חיי. קודם כל קיבלתי קידום בעבודה, לנהל את תחום הביו-פידבק בכללית משלימה. אני הפכתי להיות אולי יותר אמיצה בליזום, לעשות הרצאות, גם מקצועיות. בכלל, אני מרגישה שהרבה דברים השתנו מאז. ובסך הכל הייתי רק צריכה לשחרר כמה אמונות יסוד שהיו שם כמו סוג של ברקס בתוך החיים שלי. לא שלא היה ידוע לי, אבל לא בהכרח עשיתי משהו לשחרור שלה. הם היו ידועות לי. אז אני באמת מעודדת את כולם לעשות משהו ולשחרר. אפשר לדבר עוד הרבה על זה, אני לא כל כך אוהבת לדבר על עצמי, אבל אין ספק שמה שקרה באמת לפני שנה, לפחות במובן המקצועי, זה אצלי בחיים עשה איזשהו שינוי גדול.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, just a few minutes more. Only a few things to share with you shortly. So we have a so-called, like Ronit said, Tochnit HaChaim, soul contract. So a general life program that is the root of all my limitation. Discovering, being aware about this root of all my limitation, the essence of what keeps me limited in my experience, in my life, my biggest threat, my biggest fear. Discovering all this and naming this, being aware about this soul contract or general life program is the first step of dissolving this. So some examples of general life programs is not to succeed, not to be successful, not to be good enough, not to succeed professionally, not to succeed in relationships, not to have enough money, to face health problems. So you can see if you can recognize this, something that is related to your life, and some specific things to this kind of root limitation, not be fully successful, not showing yourself with your sensitivity like you really are, to show your fear, to do what you want, the idea of being perfect or not being perfect. All these kind of ideas are examples of general life programs. So what to do about discovering with this soul contract or general life program? It's the first idea is to be aware of this, to recognize what's my root limitation. And the second step is to be aware of this basic limitation, is to start to work somehow with this method of conscious inner liberation for dissolution of this limitation. And I can show you how to do it. Okay? And it's very easy, and you'll feel different after this. This is like, I don't know, I'm not promising, but it's happening all the time. So that means I will I will email you. If you allow me to email you about all we discussed this, it's going to be a recording, and you can see again this recording. And also I will write you some of these links if you are interested. And I'm inviting you to participate at this workshop, one-day workshop, and to have this experience. Now, if there are questions, I will answer.
I have a question for you as a doctor. What would you say is the part of the brain that's responsible for rewiring? Would that be the DMN, the default mode network? Or would it be, would it have to be a state where like all the different parts of the brain are working together, synchronized, like Zen mode or whatever? I don't know. Because I don't really know what the difference is. I just know a little bit of brain terminology.
Look, I know a lot of things, but I don't want really to enter in this brain thing. There are a lot of people very highly trained about brain. I am talking about something more simple. My mind. It's in what I am doing is addressing my emotions, my feelings and thoughts. This is you, maybe you cannot believe this now, but the key for a happy, fulfilling life is dealing with your feelings. Doesn't matter how brain is working. How do you feel and think in every moment is giving you the flavor of your life. Trying to understand how your brain is working doesn't take you to something nice and quiet inside you. I don't know if this is an answer, but what I'm saying is just allow yourself to have a little bit of peace inside you and look at your world, look at your life, look at yourself from this peace, and you will see something different. Doesn't matter how the brain is working. This is my answer for now. Anyway, if you have a specific question about brain, please write me an email. I will really try to answer you properly. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you also for being here, for your presence. Okay. Any other question? Anyway, you can write me. I will write you down right now my email address, and you can write me.
Can I dare a question?
No, you were addressing a lot of questions in Romanian, so don't.
Okay, sorry.
I am meeting with Petre every week. We have in Romanian every Saturday evening, 1 hour, 1.5 hours practicing this. And Petre is always there. And Petre is always asking something. And I very much love answering this. But why in English? Okay, so no questions. No other questions. Okay, so thank you very much. I was very happy. I am very happy for this meeting. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for those who opened their cameras. Thank you for those who didn't open their camera. Thank you for those who speak. Thank you for those who didn't speak. So
Thank
keep in
you.
touch. Keep in touch. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you, Julian.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Julian. Thank you.